With the Chapter 3 test review on the bottom of the front side. So the first thing is to solve for x. So I'm taking 50 and setting it equal to 8x plus 2. And so I subtract 2 and divide by 8, and x equals 6. So why are those two angles equal? I know that there are parallel lines, they're marked, and so this is because alternate interior angles are congruent. So the question mark, if the little angles are 50 degrees, that means that 180 minus 50 leaves the other angle as 130 degrees. Next question, x equals, so these two angles are alternate exterior angles, so 6x plus 7 is equal to 55 degrees. Subtract 7 to get 48, divide by 6, x equals 8. So this is because parallel lines mean that alternate exterior angles are congruent. Question mark is corresponding to the 55 degrees, so it is 55 degrees also. Next one, if two lines are parallel and one is perpendicular to another line, then the other line has to be perpendicular also. So x plus 92 has to equal 90 degrees, which means when you subtract 92, that x is negative 2. It's okay for the x to be negative. So when lines are parallel, I'm going to use the fact that same side interior angles are supplementary. But there is that other theorem that would talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. So the question mark has to be 90 degrees also, because the lines are perpendicular. Next one, here we've got same side interior angles, so 103 plus 14x plus 7 has to equal 180. 103 plus 7 is 110. Subtract that from 180. And we get 70. 70 divided by 14 is 5 for x. Again, parallel lines mean that same side interior angles are supplementary. The question mark is same as the 14x plus 7, and so it is also supplementary to 103, and therefore it is 77 degrees. Moving down to the bottom row of the page, state the postulate or theorem that can prove lines P and Q are parallel. So P and Q are parallel because the alternate interior angles are congruent, means that the lines are parallel. If angle 7 is congruent to angle 2, that means those two are alternate exterior angles that are congruent, and that means that lines are parallel. Angles 3 and 5 are supplementary. Those two are same side interior angles, and when same side interior angles are supplementary, it means that the lines are parallel. Move that up so you can see better. There we go. Okay, the last one. I just checked on this previous problem, earlier problem, when we had two lines that are parallel and a line that's perpendicular to one of them, then it's because of theorem 310, and that's the perpendicular transversal theorem. So that would be another possible answer for that one. So this last question on the front side, P and R are parallel, P and R are parallel, R and Q are parallel, and so that means that P and Q have to be parallel also, and that is because of theorem 3.8. It says if two lines are parallel to the same line, then they are parallel to each other. Ready for the back side? So find the value of the question mark. I've got two remote interior angles. Those always add together to equal the exterior angle. 89 plus 56 is 145 degrees. .55, 70 and the question mark are angles in a triangle, and so 55 plus 70 plus the question mark needs to equal 180. 55 plus 70 is 125, and so we subtract that from 180, and the question mark equals 55 degrees. Again, we have two remote interior angles, so 74 plus question mark equals the exterior angle, 144. Subtract the 74, and the question mark equals 70 degrees. Another triangle, so the question mark plus 60 plus 50 equals 180. Question mark plus 110, 60 plus 50. Subtract the 110, and the question mark equals 70 degrees. Next line, find the value of x. So here, again, the two remote interior angles, 16x plus 1 plus 9x minus 1 equals the exterior angle, 100. And so 16x plus 9x is 25x, 1 minus 1 is 0. And so divide by 25, x equals 4. Next one is a triangle. I know something about all three angles, so 30 plus x plus 69 plus 90 equals 180. Add those all together, and we have x plus 189 equals 180. Subtract 189, x equals -9. Remote interior angles, 16x plus 60 needs to equal 28x. Subtract the 16x to get 12x, divide by 12, x equals 5. Triangle, three angles add up to 180, 4x plus 21 plus 70 plus 45 equals 180. So 21 plus 70 plus 45, 136. Subtract 136, and 4x equals 44. Divide by 4, x equals 11. Graph the following lines. So I know my y-intercept is -4, my slope is 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 over 1, and then I do my best to draw a straight line through those. Grab my ID, but plot those points clearly. Next one, there's no y-intercept, so it's like +0, so I start with at 0, and I go down 5 over 2. I can repeat that the other direction, up 5, back 2. Draw the line through those. Y equals -2, crosses the y-axis at -2. So I'll put a point there just to make sure it's clear that that goes through that point. Horizontal line. X equals 4 is the vertical line that crosses the x-axis at 4. Again, I should I'll add a point there to indicate that it goes through the number 4. Find the slope between the following sets of points. So my slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to take one of the y values minus the other y value over one x value minus the other x value. -3 minus -6 is the same as adding 6. 2 minus -4, same as adding 4. 3 over 6, the smaller number's on top, so it's equal to 1/2. Y minus y over x minus x, -11 over 0. Can you divide by 0 on the bottom? No, no way. So slope is undefined. Make sure that you write undefined. Last one, 4 minus 4 over -5 minus 9, 0 over -14. When 0 is on top, that's okay. That equals 0. Make sure you simplify that to show that it's equal to 0. And last problems, last section, parallel to y equals 2x, so I want a slope of 2, and I have my point 3, -3, therefore y is -3, when m is 2, x is 3, solve for b. So I gotta multiply 2 times 3 first, then subtract 6 to find b is -9. So my equation uses the same slope, 2x plus -9, or -9. Perpendicular to a slope of -1/4, so I flip the fraction and switch the sign from negative to positive, and I've got my x and my y value. So my equation reads 6 is y, slope is 1/4, x is 8, solve for b. 8 times 1 is 8, divide by 4 is 2, subtract 2 to find that b is equal to 4. So my equation is y equals 1/4 x plus 4. Perpendicular to y equals 5. When it's perpendicular, it's going different directions, so I need x equals. So I find the x coordinate, 2. Parallel to x equals -2 means I keep that variable. They're both vertical lines, and I need the x coordinate, -1. And the last question, -3x plus 4y equals 36. So I need to figure out the slope. So I need to add 3x over to the other side, then divide by 4 to get 3 is divided by 4 and 36 is divided by 4. So my slope is 3/4, so the slope I'm going to use is the opposite reciprocal. So I flip the fraction, 4 over 3, and switch the sign from positive to negative. Now I have my x and my y from the point. Y is 5, m is -4/3, x is -3, solving for b. Negative 3 times negative 4 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is positive 4. Subtract 4 to find that b is equal to 1, and y equals negative 4/3 x plus 1. Hope this helps. Email me with your questions.